We all have a set of guiding principles, the preconceptions and generalizations regarding fundamental issues of one's life and of the entire world. No matter where we go, no matter what we do, we tend never to abandon our beliefs. These are things Prospector believes on Rock 107.
After taxes, no one who won Who Wants to Be a Millionaire was actually a millionaire. The last person alive will not have a funeral. As electric cars slowly take over the industry, living by a freeway won't be as annoying as it is now.
Well, now we know the reason he turned out the way he did. That was Things Prospector Believes on Rock 107. 107.
Elon Musk installed an X on top of the Twitter building. Don't get used to it. It'll be replaced by a for-lease sign soon. For the 5th time in July, drugs were found floating off Florida, and thus begins my script for the upcoming blockbuster Cocaine Shark. The co-creator of ABC's The View has died. His eulogy will consist of 4 people loudly speaking over one another.
It's 60 Minutes meets Gone in 60 Seconds. Tune in tomorrow for Prospector's Briefs on Rock 107.
Easy way to get called a Karen. Deprive kids of an ice cream truck in the middle of friggin' July. Yeah, good morning. I'm Rock 107's Prospector. A neighborhood in New Jersey recently lost its ice cream truck because somebody complained about the music. This music. Yeah. A Mr. Softy truck was driving around playing that jingle like it always does, and someone found it annoying, which I kind of get. It happened near Blackwood, New Jersey, which is right outside of Philly. Someone else who lives in the neighborhood got on Facebook and said, quote, Mr. Softy has disappeared and been told not to come back around to our area because one neighbor called to complain about the music. This music. Now, it's not clear who complained, but the local news heard about it and got in touch with Mr. Softy headquarters. They said occasionally they get complaints like this. If a driver's been blasting the jingle at like 10 p.m. or something, they'll make sure that stops. But this was in the middle of the day, and if they didn't play it at all, they wouldn't have any customers because no one would know the ice cream truck was there. Kids in the neighborhood can breathe a sigh of relief, though. Other neighbors got in touch with Mr. Softy to complain about the complainer, and the truck will return. Thank God. Rock 107.
Hey, Prospector.
Yo.
I just heard your story about Mr. Softy, right?
Yeah.
So did you ever hear the story about Black and Brass coffee roasters in Honesdale?
No, why? What happened?
Well, they roast their own coffee, just like Electric City does,
Oh, wait, didn't they get somebody complained about the smell or something?
Yes, they smell too much like coffee. So they got booted out of downtown Honesdale.
Ridiculous.
Right? Like, it's a coffee roaster. Who doesn't like the smell of coffee?
I mean, look, even if you don't like the smell of coffee, you just go, oh, gee, it smells like coffee here, and you keep moving.
Seriously. Get over it. People complain way too much about nothing.
Oh, well, look, I complain about everything. I get it, but yes, you're right.
Life's pretty tough right now. There's plenty of bad news, but it's not all bad. It's time for the brighter side of Prospector on Rock 107.
A 16-year-old kid named Keontae Evans from Georgia was doing yard work to help buy his siblings some new clothing, and if he made enough, he was hoping to get himself a PlayStation 5. Some idiot saw him working and called the cops because they assumed he was trespassing. But check this out, this is where it gets good. A cop named Eric Collarhan responded to the call and was so impressed by Keontae, he came back a few days later with a PS5. He and his friends pooled their money to buy it for him. He said he wanted to show Keontae that if you work hard, good things come your way.
Thanks. We needed that. The brighter side of Prospector on Rock 107.
It's the kind of thing that happens all the time, but we just don't think about. Good morning. I'm Rock 107's Prospector. It's hard to imagine The Office without Steve Carell as Michael Scott, but he is not the only actor who was considered. 2 other guys were even offered the part before him. Yeah, both Paul Giamatti and Philip Seymour Hoffman turned down the part of Michael Scott. I can't imagine anybody other than Steve Carell doing it, but Louis C.K. read for the part too. Although he had a holding deal with CBS, so he wasn't going to be able to do it at all. And Rainn Wilson, he went after it. Thank God he ended up playing Dwight, because who could have done that better, right? I can't imagine anybody other than Michael Scott being played by Steve Carell.
Because I don't like to be cooped up in that office, in that box, all day long.
Yeah, even though Patton Oswalt and Adam Scott also tried out, and so did Bob Odenkirk. Office fans probably know Odenkirk appeared during the final season as the very Michael Scott-like office manager that Pam interviews with for a potential job in Philadelphia. Give me Steve Carell or give me death.
What's a yam bag? A fool, an idiot, a blockhead, a dunce, or an ignoramus. You know, a dullard, simpleton, or a clot, nitwit, dipstick, pea-brain, mouth breather, or cretin.
It's now time to announce the winner of Prospector's Yam Bag of the Day, as decided by you at rock107.com.
Here are the nominees. Nominee number 1.
This is like a bull in a china shop, except the china shop was a luxury automobile place, and the bull was a moron who had too much to drink. A 29-year-old in Salt Lake City named Mikel Martinez did some day drinking last weekend and decided to break into a Ferrari dealership. He got into the showroom Sunday night last weekend by smashing a big glass window with a rock, then found a $600,000 Ferrari that was unlocked, spotted a set of keys in the center console, and decided to steal it. He apparently drove it through the big glass wall and hit 4 other Ferraris on his way out. According to police, he caused $100,000 in damage for those 4 cars, and obviously the Ferrari he stole got banged up too. It's not clear how much damage he caused in total. They found him nearby walking away after he abandoned the car. He told them the whole thing was spur of the moment, and he'd been drinking all day. He's facing charges for theft, burglary, and property damage.
Nominee number 2.
Have you ever had a frozen banana? Look, they could be a healthy summer snack, or a weapon, apparently. Cops in eastern Pennsylvania are trying to track down a person who's been tossing frozen bananas at passing cars. It's been happening near the town of Tilden, which is about 75 miles northwest of Philly, and they've done it at least 5 different times, and one person's dash cam got it on video. The banana was thrown from the window of a pickup coming from the opposite direction, and cops say it sounds like a funny prank, sure, but it's actually dangerous and could cause a crash. One woman it happened to had her window down and got hit by, quote, debris from the banana. Some of it also flew past her and hit her car seat in the back. Luckily, her kid was not in the seat. All they know is the truck is two-tone, but if the person's caught, they could face vandalism charges or worse.
And the winner is
the person who's throwing frozen bananas at passing cars. You're a complete idiot, and you're risking somebody's life. Oh, and you're the Yam Bag of the Day, and we'll move on to Friday's Yam Bag of the Week competition. Keep it here for all the nominees for Prospector's Yam Bag of the Day, weekday mornings on Rock 107. Thanks for listening to Prospector's Prime Cuts podcast. Be sure to catch us live weekdays from 5:30 to 10 a.m. on Rock 107 or online at rock107.com or the Rock 107 app, a free download for your Android or iPhone. Subscribe to the podcast on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher Radio, or wherever you get your podcasts so you never miss Prospector's Prime Cuts.